What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the next, possibly last video in the series of how to get started in real estate investing. On today's episode, I wanted to put together a quick little video recap talking about the acquisition strategies and then what better way to do this than with a deal example. Now, with that said, there are some limitations on YouTube. Unfortunately, I cannot share addresses. With that said, inside of our school, we have done deal breakdowns, case studies, even on this deal example. So if you want to learn more about it, please feel free to check out the school. So I'm going to jump over here. This is our website called DealSort. This is how we actually found this deal that I'm going to talk about today. We closed on it this last week. We got it under contract on Tuesday. We closed on it the following Wednesday. So from start to finish, this was 8 days to get paid, $12,500 in a wholesale assignment fee. And we found this deal on the MLS and also through a real estate agent. So DealSort is our app. This is a software that my team has created based off of a bunch of deals that I had done previously on the MLS. We created a scoring system and an algorithm that basically highlights the best deals with the most motivated sellers. So once you join Agent Investors, our community, you get a login to this software, and then it brings you to a dashboard. This dashboard, every single one of these boxes that you see is a different search criteria. This is a different buy box. So this means for properties that either I, as the buyer, am going to purchase and flip, purchase and keep it as a rental, wholesale it, or even as a realtor represent another investor that might be interested in properties like this, we can create as many buy boxes as we want. So step number 1, pick a market. Step number 2 is find buyers. Step number 3 is pick an acquisition strategy. In this case, what we are looking to do is we're looking to go out there and find deals on the MLS. And a lot of people out there, I don't really understand even to this day, 6 years later of doing this strategy and 10 plus years of being in real estate, why people don't look on the MLS. I get it. It's probably this misconception, disbelief, just not really understanding that there actually is opportunity out there. And I completely understand it. Quite frankly, I was one of those guys that used to say the same thing. It wasn't until I tried everything else in the industry and I actually stumbled across this specific opportunity that I was able to realize that there are deals on market everywhere. So for those of you that are licensed realtors, you connect your MLS accounts. And for those of you that are not licensed realtors, you would just add a realtor to your system. After that, you could see each one of these searches, like I mentioned, is a different buy box. For this deal example, you could see I exported in very specific terms, Glendale, Arizona, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1980 or newer. That's it. In most searches on the MLS or Zillow or any software you're using, you have to put keywords. You have to put a certain amount of days on market. The reason being is if you don't, you find a list this size, which is 485 in this example. Most of the time, what we're trying to do is narrow down the list to the best deals. And so the general public typically does this by putting in like a keyword motivated or as is or invest or even 90 days on market per se. What I found is that there was a lot of opportunities missed. For example, even on this specific example, 89 days on market. So if you're looking at things that have only been on the market for 90 days or more, you would have missed out on an opportunity where the seller dropped their price 13%. That sucks because in this specific example, you could see my software basically identified that there's 1 out of 16 here that should be a deal, and you would have skipped over this one because you only limited 90 days or more. Does that mean this one's not going to be there tomorrow? No, it probably will be. But if you don't check this daily, or if you just missed this coincidentally or unluckily, then that would have been a deal you could have missed out on, which obviously all of these we tend to follow up with. So I'm not going to get into all the details of how the scoring system works and our algorithm and all that fun stuff. But essentially, we're tracking motivation. We're trying to see where sellers have done anything or given us any sort of sign or indication that they are motivated and looking for a lower offer today. And so that's what this hot list is. We compiled all of the data, 485 properties, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1980 or newer in Glendale that are single-family houses. And then the software narrowed it down to the top 16. That doesn't mean every one of these is going to get an offer. A lot of these, what we find is that they are either overpriced, they are already remodeled, and we don't have an investor wanting to pay retail value for it, or we even find the seller drop to their bottom number and they're not motivated to go below that. But 1 out of 16 is not hard to do. People could go in and comp 16 deals, analyze 16 deals in one day, and it's not that hard to do. And so I know all these addresses are going to be blurred on the video. If you guys, again, want to watch the replay or see any of the case studies, please feel free to join the school community. This deal right here we got. So from start to finish, we got this property under contract, like I mentioned, on a Tuesday. We closed the following Wednesday. So they originally had this listed at $750,000. Part of what I teach is that whether it's the original list price or current list price, there's a pretty good indication that they're around what ARV is, the after repair value, when the house is fully remodeled, fixed up, and ready to sell at retail. In this case, the original list price was pretty close to ARV, maybe even a little bit above. We found a comp at $655. We also found a comp at $725. So we ended up saying the after repair value on this was $700. Now they had dropped it 20% to $598,000. My team kind of just threw out an offer around $465. They countered us around $485. During the inspection period, we found that there was actually more renovations that needed to be done that were not disclosed in the seller's property disclosure statement. And so we were able to get a price reduction of like $15,000 down to $470. And then we ended up finding a buyer on this deal at $482,500 at the very last minute. I wish I could tell you this was a super smooth transaction, but unfortunately this was one of those that we found a buyer very last minute. And we were prepared to take this one down ourselves and put it back on the market like a wholesale, but we found a buyer on the last day of the inspection period that gave us a $12,500 assignment. So what exactly did this software do? It identified opportunity. What did we have to do? We had to comp the property, contact the agent, and then just because it turned into a deal on this one, for every other property on this list, we're focusing on the relationship with the realtor, providing as much value and feedback as possible, and even just being a second option, a backup resource for any other future deal that they come across. And so with the software, you could see all the property remarks, public and private remarks. We could see the realtor information. We could see the notes on this property if anyone on your team takes it. And then obviously too, you could keep track of it if you wanted, meaning you could push this to a CRM, you could export the data, you could do anything with this as close to a CRM with the exception of texting and emailing, because this is designed to sort the deals and help you find the best opportunities. With that said, we have a lot of cool features. You could add team members, you could take away keywords or add more keywords. You could plug in Zapier to push this to a CRM or a spreadsheet. And then like I mentioned, you could have as many of these buy boxes as you would like. So we just launched this software or system, whatever you want to call it, just recently within the past 6 months. And now since then, my team has contracted and closed at least 10 deals from the software so far. So super exciting stuff. This is something exclusive to our community, but I wanted to at least be transparent with people here so you could see deal examples. You could also see how my team did it. I guess it would also be helpful if I showed you our numbers. So you could see 700,000. We ran the numbers, 2,800 square feet on this one, around $25-30 a square foot. So 700,000 ARV, 75,000 rehab, 75,000 profit, 12.5 wholesale, put us around 43,500. We ended up selling this one pretty much on the dot at 482,500. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully it also inspires you and shows you there's enough opportunity on market that you're probably just looking past. This one we got over 100,000 off their asking price, current asking price, and almost $300,000 from their original asking price. Send more offers. There's a lot of deals on the MLS. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.